Alright guys, today I'm gonna show you how to configure the network card on Red Hat 7. I see many people configuring the Red Hat cards as we used to do that on Red Hat 6, and basically it's wrong because we have now a different service that controls all the networking on Red Hat, what's called Network Manager. And sometimes by using the previous method, it just messed up the configuration for network cards, and you basically will end with no network at all. So that happened many times, and we have to go and console the server when we just supposed to just added a new IP or change the IP or whatever, and basically we messed up the configuration and we have to console the server directly in the data center. So in order to avoid all these things, we're gonna work right now, and also this is a Red Hat tip for the exam, um, how you can actually configure the configuration through the terminal. I'm not gonna show you the GUI part because that's pretty straightforward and we don't need to do that. And basically we have another GUI like text GUI. That's the first method. Basically you have three methods. You have the text GUI, you have the nmcli command, and you have the GUI if we have the graphical interface installed on the server. But for ITs and that when we work with multiple servers in the data center, we don't usually install the GUI, the graphical interface, on the Red Hat because of the security reasons. Um, so most of the time you're gonna access the server through the SSH, and you have to manipulate all the network cards through the SSH command. The CLI commands. So so the first thing, like I said, we have a tool called nm2ui mn2 yeah nmtui. So this is very simple, but because if you want to configure something, you just want to add the new connection, and then you can leave it like that if you want to use DHCP, or you can just go manual and show, and then you start adding your IP 168 I don't know 67/24, and then you add your gateway and then your DNS, and that's it, I guess. Yeah, you can add your domains if you have something. In my case is Mr. White locally. Also, if you want to disable IPv6, you can do that, or you can configure IPv6, and you can select these options if you want all the users to use that device specifically, and also if you want to enable the network card as boot when the server boots. So basically this is the thing. After that you save the changes and you will have the configuration done. So this is, like I said, this is very simple. It's just like the previous way. Very simple how to configure these things. So this is a VM. I configure two network cards. One is using the IP that I'm in SSH right now to this VM, and the other card doesn't have anything. So we're gonna use the other command that is included on the Red Hat certification test. It's called nmcli, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the connection, and we are going to assign all the network settings in order to get this working. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check if actually how many connections you have. You already saw on the nm2e tool, but with this new command you're gonna go and you can go connection, connection, and then show, and you will see that I only have one connection. You can also abbreviate this by doing C or CN or CN and then S as show, or you can go like only C and S. Same thing. So all these abbreviations work for the same purpose. So as you can see, I only have one connection. So we're gonna add one more connection. We're gonna go nmcli, and then we're gonna go connection, and I'm gonna say add. And if we're gonna delete, obviously we're gonna go delete, and then the name of the connection. In this case, we're gonna add a connection. The connection name is gonna be. I'm gonna use actually the same name as the device, so just for references. So I'm gonna check that quickly. So the connection will be that one, and then we're gonna specify the type of the connection, which is Ethernet, and the if name of the connection, which is the same device. So that's add the connection successfully. So we're gonna run the same command, nmcli connection show, and we have our second connection right here. So at this point, if we're gonna use DHCP, only we have to do is to leave it as it is, because they already took the second IP. If you don't have any IP configured for this connection, what you can do, you can just try to refresh the network with the systemctl restart network. This is how you restart your network, and then it should be online. The other thing, if you are not getting any DHCP address, you can also do DHCP client and the name of the device, and then you will receive a DHCP. But in this case, it's already running, so that's not an issue. So the next part we're gonna do is, as we receive already one IP and it's part of the pool that I have assigned for the DHCP, what we're gonna do now is we're going to set up a new IP address, which is out of the pool. It's static, and we're gonna use the same tool. So in order to do that, we're gonna go and say nmcli, and again we can do that only in one command, but also because probably you won't remember all the switches during the exam. So what we can do is you can edit the connection, and we're gonna just change whatever is in the connection. So it's basically like text, like nm2i, similar, because we can just modify whatever it is there, and we don't have to remember all these switches for the when you are on the test. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the same thing. We're gonna go connection, edit, and we're gonna pass the if name of the connection. So that's gonna bring us to this beautiful interface. You can go with help, and you can go ahead and check all these switches. But basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna print the configuration. So that's gonna give us all the configuration for this specifically ID. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut down the IPv6 just to give you an idea how this works. So we're gonna set, and then we're gonna copy the method, and then we're gonna paste there, and then we're gonna change that to this to ignore, right? So if we print this thing again, we're gonna see that this is being ignored. So now what happened if I don't remember what's supposed to be on this? So what you can do is you can run help, and you can actually use the describe. For example, you can say describe, and then you can run the same method that we just run. So I'm gonna run the same one, and it's gonna give me here what are the options that I have. So I have auto, I have manual, I have link local. So these are my options, and this is the option that I can use with that one. So say that, and then print that again, and let's look for the information that actually we're gonna change. So here is the part, right? So we are looking for the, no, this is not the part. Yes, this one, sorry. So we are looking for the address, we are looking for the gateway, we are looking for our DNSs, and we also look for this one to be configure manual. So let's start with the IPv4 method. So we're gonna set that to manual, and then we're gonna go for the second method, which is gonna be the IP address. There you go. So this thing, we're gonna set the address to 169.24. Again, if you wanna configure another address, you can just keep going, and I'll add all the address. I'm gonna show you with the DNSs in a minute. So another one, we're gonna copy this one, and we're gonna set the gateway 192.168.1.1, and the other thing is the DNS. So we're gonna copy the DNS, we'll set DNS, we're gonna go for my local DNS, and also I'm gonna add the Google DNS. There you go. So if I print this again, so I have these two DNSs, right, separated by comma, and I have my IP address, I have my gateway, and also change the IPv4 method to manual. So after that, you just save the changes and quit. And what we're gonna do is to check this, and we still have the previous IP, but as a few minutes ago I just told you that you need to restart the network. So network restart, and then check that again, and now we have this one. So if we open here, I'm connecting to the the VM. Here I'm in my local laptop, so I'm pinging remotely to the VM, and should respawn that interface. If I go to nmcli connection show, I can see both are active. If I say nmcli connection down, and copy this one, immediately the ping stops. We can do up, and the ping start working again. And this is how you work with network cards in Red Hat, CentOS, or any distribution based on Red Hat. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye bye.